Fun with fall leaves, experimenting with art process. Today we will create two different fun fall experiments using leaves. We're also going to practice using organic shapes to create and learn how to create a leaf print using markers. Let's talk about organic shapes and warm colors. Remember, organic shapes are shapes that are created by nature. We have been talking a lot about organic shapes the last couple of weeks. Today we're going to be using organic shaped leaves to create our artwork with. Leaves in the fall transition from cool colors like green to warm colors like yellow-green, red, orange, yellow, gold, and red-violet. Take a look at the color wheel. Notice how half of the color wheel is warm colors and the other half of the color wheel is cool colors. We're going to be focusing on warm colors today to create our artwork with using the fall leaves. Materials you will need today. Number 1, a collection of fall leaves in different sizes, shapes, and colors. 2 sheets of white paper to do both of the experiments, markers and crayons, and then optional, tape or glue, and maybe a Sharpie marker. Here's 2 examples of what we will be creating. For the first experiment, we will be using markers and fall leaves to create a leaf print. For the second experiment, we're going to try to actually use the organic shaped leaves to make different creatures out of our leaves. Let's watch and see how to get started.
Okay friends, so for today's lesson, I am so excited to show you how to do this. Before you get started, you're going to need to collect yourself a nice bag of leaves. Now you're probably going to need your parents or whatever adult you are with or an older sibling's help to do this, so make sure you get permission before you collect your leaves. But when you do that and put them in a baggie and bring them inside, then you will be ready to start. So you might need to pause and go do that first and then come back and restart the video so we can continue on. All right, so when you have your leaves, we're gonna take our leaves and do something really creative and fun with it. We were talking about warm and cool colors. You may notice on my leaves, I'm using lots of warm colors for the leaves because this time of the year in nature, most of the leaves are warm colors, oranges and reds and golds, even some browns. You might still see a little bit of green outside, but there's not very much. Most of the leaves are warm colors, even magentas. So we're going to use those warm colors to actually color our leaves and create what's called a print. A print is any time that you put color on the surface of one object and print it down onto a sheet of paper or another object. It's called printmaking. So we're going to be doing prints with our leaves and then coloring around our leaves, doing kind of a tracing, but doing it in a really different, unique, and imaginative way you may have not done before. So all of these wonderful organic shapes that we see out in the fall are going to inspire our artwork today. So I've got ready to use, I've got my warm color markers, so my yellow, my red, my oranges, and even my violet. Violet is a warm color when you use it with red, yellow, and orange. It can sometimes look like a cool color if I use it with blue, green, and purple. So I'm going to push those aside. Grab out the leaves that I really like the best. So I'm going to look through my bag here. And I'm going to pull out the leaves that really are appealing to me. I love maple leaves. I live in the woods and I have lots of maple trees. So I'm going to use that leaf. I'm going to use this as a little baby oak leaf. And there's a few more here I want to use. I love the look of that leaf. And then I want to try to get some leaves that are different sizes and shapes. So maybe even this little tiny one here and one more, see if I can fit a leaf this shape on my paper. Okay, so taking 3 4 or 5 leaves. I'm going to move those off to the side, the ones that I want to use. I'm going to pick my biggest one first and kind of figure out where I want to put it on my paper. Now, in order to do this, you're actually going to have to use the back side of your paper as like protection for your table, because I don't want you, whatever surface you're working on at home, I don't want you to get marker all over it. So either you can use a placemat or an extra sheet of paper, or just use the back of your paper. I'm going to let this be the back of my paper. Oh, you know what? I'm going to flip it over. This will be the back of my paper. And on the back of my paper, I am going to take the colors that I see in the leaf, and I'm actually going to color on top of the leaf. So I see a lot of red in this leaf. So I'm going to take my red marker, and very, very quickly, I'm going to try to color my whole leaf really, really red. Now I have to do this really fast. This will be the one time in art where I'll say, okay, scribble really, really fast, boys and girls. Try to get the tips of the leaves, all the corners of the leaves as fast as you can. Don't worry about getting the marker on the back of your paper because it won't matter. Just want to make sure you don't get it all over your table. Try not to rip your leaf, so you want to be a little bit careful with it. And once you feel like you have all the edges and the corners completely colored over, you're going to pick the leaf up, flip your paper over, and put the leaf face down with all the marker you just colored, and you're going to press, 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 making that print. And I want you to hold it there and maybe count to 10, pressing as hard as you can. Press, 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 press. Count to 10. And then after you count to 10, you can pull up your hands, and I don't want you to move the leaf yet. You're going to hold the leaf down with one hand and then take the marker that you used to color it, and you're going to make lines all the way around the edge, going over the edge of the leaf. This is a different way to trace a shape. Instead of drawing a line all the way around it, we're going to go across the edge, going outward like this. And again, you can do this really quickly. As quick as you want. You want to try to make sure you get all the way around because that's what's going to make the shape. You can turn your paper, go across the leaf fast, 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 holding it down. You really have to hold it down. You could get an adult to help you hold it down, or a big brother or a big sister or another person in your family if you needed help to hold your leaf down. Now once you get all the way around your leaf, like that, you can pull it up, ta-da, and look at the beautiful print that you just made. That's called printmaking, when you put any kind of paint or ink on one side of something and stamp it down. I just made a print. Now I'm going to use a different leaf for my next print. I love the shape of this maple leaf. So I'm going to flip my paper back over, making sure this is dry. I don't want to smear it. I'm going to look for my green marker. It's got some yellow in it too, and I have this yellow-green color that matches it almost perfectly. So I'm going to take this and very quickly again color over top of my leaf as fast as I can. The faster you do it, the better, because you want the marker to stay wet. Now you can probably see on my leaf that my marker is actually like really shiny right now. That shows me that it's wet. If it's dry, the shininess will go away and I'll have to put more marker on it. Okay, so it's really shiny and wet. I'm going to flip my paper over. I'm going to flip my leaf into a new space. I want to put it close to the other one, but not too close. Press, 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 hold it down for about 10 seconds. You can count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then take my marker and do the same thing. Go off the edge, all the way around your leaf. Now, boys and girls, I want you to do this for every single one of your leaves that you're going to fit on your paper. So try to do this at least 3 times. If you can fit more, like 4 or 5 leaves on your paper, that'll be even more amazing. This type of artwork is like experimenting. You're experimenting, you're trying different things out. I want you to practice making a print. Ooh, I like the way that looks too. Now on the other paper that I made that I showed you, I was able to fit 4. I could have probably made a couple more little ones in the corner right there. But then you can see how I added more color all the way around. So after I get my paper full of leaves, then I can use my markers and my crayons even to color around. But now when you color around, I want you to use different colors. So if I used red here, I'm not going to use more red to color around it. I could use orange, I could use yellow, or I could use cool colors like blue and green. So I'm going to try using a little bit of orange. This is like a bright neon orange. I'm going to color the same way that I made my lines going out, all the way around. This is another way to color, to kind of add texture, just like we did when we were doing the Van Gogh pumpkins. I like the way that looks, but I want some more color. I could use some pink, and then I think I'm going to add some cool color around it. Remember, cool colors are like blue and green and violet. Ooh, I really like experimenting with mixing my marker or my crayon colors there. So now I'm going to add a little bit of blue. And I can practice mixing and blending those colors and seeing what colors I like together and what happens when different colors mix with different colors. So this may seem like scribbling to you, but it's not the same as scribbling because I'm thinking about which way my lines are going. Scribbling is when you just kind of draw everywhere all over the place without really thinking about it. But I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about how I want my lines to go, and I'm thinking about really what I want it to look like. So I'm going to put some blue around this green leaf. I think I might want to try mixing it with some yellow to see what happens. Let's experiment. Let me take a yellow crayon and mix it with some of the blue, and it makes even some more green areas. So we're going to do this around all of our leaves till we fill up almost our whole paper. So when you're done, your paper might look something like this. So that is experiment number 1. I actually have another thing I want you to try. When you're done with this and you feel pretty happy with the way that it looks, you're going to put it off to the side, and then you're going to take your leaves that you used, or even maybe some that you didn't, and I want you to try using your imagination to make either a leaf creature or a leaf man or a leaf animal. For this, you don't need your crayons and your markers, but you might want to use a glue stick and some tape to tape it down. If you have access to a Sharpie, you could also use that to draw a face, but you don't really need to. So let me show you what I mean by a leaf man or a leaf creature. I would take my leaves and I would experiment with those organic shapes. How could I lay these down in different ways to either make wings, like for a bird, or maybe these would be arms for a leaf man. How could I use my leaves to make a leg or 2 legs? Maybe one leg's different than the other leg. Could I use a different leaf to make a face? Oh, I like the way that looks. I even have a couple of leaves that looked like lips, and I tried that earlier. I said to myself, wow, that kind of looks like a mouth. Maybe I'll make that the mouth on my leaf guy. So arranging your leaves to have like a head and a body and arms and a legs, you made a leaf person. Now, if I really liked the way that looked, I could either have Mom or Dad take a picture of it and have that be my final example of something I made, or I could glue it or tape it down to leave it there. If you decide to glue it or tape it down, it's really fun because then you can decorate all the way around it. So after you get your leaf man down or your leaf creature, I could use like a marker, and I could add some eyes on the face and a nose like that. I could use my marker to add some hair to my leaf guy. Give him some funny spiky hair. Now maybe he's really an unusual creature, and instead of just being a regular guy, maybe he has antenna like that. And if it were like a leaf creature or a leaf bird, I could add different types of legs or claws. Like maybe this leaf creature also has claws on the ends of his arms, like this. So you could use your marker to add these details and then also record what you made just by taking a picture with help of somebody in your family. I hope you have fun really using these organic shapes today and being inspired by nature and experimenting and playing with it to learn all the different things that you can do using things that you find outside. I hope you have fun. See you later. Bye-bye.